So I thought I'd make a video on my day of driving as a roadie driver. Now I have my alarm set for 5:20, and usually they start releasing the gigs at about 5:21, 5:22. So I looked this morning when I got up, and there was one small one in where I live at. I didn't want to take it, and it's Monday, so it's the last day of the pay period, and I'd only made $181 this week, so it's a pretty slow week. In the last 5 weeks, I've had, in 6 weeks, I've had $4,000 weeks, 4 $1,000 weeks, plus like a $600 and some, an $800. So $181 was looking pretty cheap. So I was hoping I'd have a good day. Well, I looked, and about an hour and a half from where I live, there was 2 gigs that would have paid about $150. And sometimes if I head there early, nobody takes them, and I get them both. I have made the mistake of waiting several hours and saying, well, nobody's taking them, I'll try it. And then I end up not getting them, or get one of them. So I decided, what the heck, I'm not doing anything else. I would like to add some money to my paycheck. So I jumped in my truck and I started driving. And I got about halfway there, and you lose your phone signal. But I got just enough signal to say that I got one of the gigs. I had to wait like 10 or 15 minutes to get enough signal to find out what I got. And it was the $50 one, not the $100 one. And not both of them. And I was like, man, should I just cancel the other one? Say it's not worth it? Or I've driven halfway, at least it pays for my gas. And a side note, I have seen so many dead skunks on the road in the last week or two. And I just passed 2 of them, and I've been seeing them all day. I don't know what's going on with skunks this time of year. If they hibernate and they're out gathering food or what, but they're getting killed left and right on the roads, and raccoons and some squirrels. But I digress. So I say, I'll go ahead and take this trip. So I went ahead and drove up there. The town's called Roadie. And like I said, it's an hour and a half drive. So I get there, and it's a door delivery. It's only going 2 miles. So you look at it that way, 2 miles for $50. All right. So I get over there, and the guy looks at the door and tells me they wanted a 36-inch door, not a 32. They must have ordered the wrong one or something. So he didn't really want it. I said, well, I can return it if you want. The reason I said that is because if you return it, you get paid again. So I got paid $50 to deliver it, then I got paid $50 to return it. So now it's $100. And there was nothing else going on, so I headed back home. Now, just before I got home, like 10 minutes, I looked at my Roadie app, and I'd already put in for this other gig that they weren't releasing, and they haven't been for several days, like a week. But I keep trying for it just to see if maybe they'll release it. And I even called Home Depot, and they said it was a bunch of flooring, and it was supposed to have gone out Saturday, but it's, according to what I can see, it hasn't been delivered yet. Well, I was looking at that one, and all of a sudden I noticed, oh, there's another delivery. So I clicked on it, and it was $100 delivering another door to a toll about an hour away, a little over an hour away. I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll take it. Well, they gave it to me, so I put in my offer. They gave it to me. So I loaded the door, and I drove to this town called Mansfield. When I got there, the guy that greeted me was the same guy I delivered the door to earlier today. He goes, hey, I see you again. And I was like, what are you doing here? He goes, well, the only place I could get the door was out of Wenatchee, so I ordered it from there. So he helped me unload it. We took it over and dropped it off. So I made $100 delivering that door. Then I started to leave, and I thought, well, I might as well check OMAC again. So I looked, and there was 3 gigs there, and they paid almost $200. So while I'm driving, I went ahead and clicked on those. A few minutes later, I got all 3 of them. I thought, well, this is good. I'm going to have like a $400 day. So I drove about an hour, 40 minutes maybe, back to OMAC. Turns out it's another door and 2 sheets of hardy back, kind of like concrete boards, 2 foot by 4 foot, and a box of some kind of spray and foam insulation, I think. It's going to 3 different locations. So the first one, it has an address of Tenasket, which is 20 miles north of where I was. But the real delivery was 20 miles east of that town. So it's actually 40 miles. So I got out there, and it was supposed to be 2 deliveries, but it was a duplicate. You have to be careful of that stuff with Roadie. I found out the hard way. But I wasn't worried about it because it was only 1 pay. It didn't have 2 separate pays. So I got out there in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's no cell phone signal, nothing. But fortunately, my map had loaded up the address, and I found it. And it really was out in the boonies. I had to go across the cattle gate, out in open range. Tons of houses spread out here and there, but it's out in the middle of nowhere. So I made the delivery, and then I have no cell phone signal, so I can't finish my delivery. I can't take a picture. I can't say that I delivered it. And my maps don't work. She kind of hinted that if I hooked up to her Starlink and she gave me her password, I could do that. She didn't really offer it. She just said I'd have to if I wanted to get a signal. And I thought, well, I think it's back in town, so I'll head back that way. Sorry, I'm trying to make this as short as possible. It's kind of a long story. So there's this little store in the middle of nowhere along the side of the road. They sell snacks mostly. And I pass it once in a while when I'm on deliveries. Well, every time I go by there. Today I said, I'm going to stop, see if she'll let me use her Wi-Fi. She was like, sure, no problem. So she gives me her Wi-Fi name and password. It took me like 5 tries to get logged in because I couldn't quite tell what the password was. But anyway, I got logged in, and I found out, yes, I'm going back to town. So at least I wasn't going the wrong direction. So I thanked her. I bought a soda, and I gave her $5 for her trouble. And headed to town. And then Google Maps took me through some guy's fruit orchard, thinking that was the road I was supposed to be on. Well, I got to the house through the back way, but I'm driving through somebody's orchard. I'm like, what the heck? But that's normal with Google. You just never know. So I got there, and the guy was home. He helped me unload the 2 sheets of hardy back. I had to open the tailgate, lift the door up, slide out the hardy back. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, we got that done. And then I realized, I thought I was going to a town called Carlton, but it was actually Carlton Way in a town called Twist. So I'm in the middle of going there now. That's another hour from my last drop-off. So I'm going to make that delivery, and then I will check OMAC one more time just in case. It's a 45-minute drive back there, and there's probably nothing this late in the day. It is 3:38. My plan is I'll be home about 5:30. And I started driving at 5:30 this morning, so it's going to be a 12-hour day. So I'm going to go over here, drop this door off, and then check, and I'll probably just head home. That's about an hour and a half. Like I said, I'll be on the road for 12 hours. But the good thing is, I made about $400 today, real close to it. So I've gone from $181 for the week to $581. But I'm going to be driving like, let's see, I've driven, by the time I get done, I'll be 450, 500 miles. Almost, I guess it's close to $1 a mile. So anyway, my question to you guys, whoever's watching this, is would you do it? Would you spend 12 hours to make $400? And would you put 400 miles or 450 miles on your vehicle? This is the way I look at it. I'm getting paid for my time for the deliveries. And I get a write-off like 65 or 68 cents a mile for the mileage I put on. So the write-off is going to pay, well, you figure $400 times 65, that's between $250, $300 write-off. So that more than pays for the gas, plus it's less money I have to pay taxes on. So to me, it's a win-win situation. I'm making $400. I have a nice big write-off of my taxes because of the mileage. And, well, you know, I wasn't sitting at home bored for 12 hours. This is actually, I think, the best day I've had as far as money-wise, and probably close to the most hours I put on. But to me, it's worth it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you're a roadie driver, you can relate. If you're not, you probably can't relate, but sometimes I have some crappy drives where I go to Home Depot to pick something up, and let's say I drove an hour to make $100, $200, and one of them's been picked up by somebody already or it's canceled, and then they pay you $8 for the cancellation. So if you were thinking you're going to make, let's say, $160 on two $80 gigs, and then you find out you're only making $88, that kind of hurts, especially if you drove a long ways to get there for it, which has happened to me a couple times. Today, fortunately, the double delivery wasn't ×2 on the pay, so I didn't lose anything. I just showed that I delivered them both, and I didn't lose anything. I hate going there and doing a cancellation and getting paid $8. The other day, I did 2 deliveries. One of them was a pickup for Roadie, which is health, like oxygen machines, things like that. And the lady didn't want to part with it. She said they had it worked out at the hospital, so she wouldn't give it to me. It's supposed to be like $47 for the pickup, something like that. Anyway, I called the company, Roadie. They canceled it, and they paid me $4 for my trouble. Now I drove 15, 20 miles from where my other one was at, plus waited, plus my gas, so figure 45 minutes of wasted time plus the gas, and they gave me $4. I was not happy. So I made the decision that I will not do Roadie deliveries or pickups anymore. That's the second one I've tried, and the other one didn't want to part with theirs either, but they did. But it only paid like $28. Then I had a heck of a time finding the Roadie place because it's in some side store off the beaten path. Anyway, I don't know if you guys have a chance to do Roadie, but I won't do another one. I'm not in the repo business. I'm in the delivery business, so they can get somebody else to go repo their oxygen machines or whatever. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you know somebody that's a roadie driver, you can share this with them. Maybe they'll watch it. Feel free to comment in the bottom. Try to be nice. I don't appreciate mean, rude comments. It's a good way to get blocked. Anyway, thanks again. Appreciate it.